To this now, Electricity Minister Dr Kgosientsho Ramokgopa expected to address the UNESCO Engineering Conference this morning. The second day of the conference is expected to look into how engineering expertise can solve the energy crisis on the continent. Newzroom Afrika's Ziniko Mhlaba following that particular conference for us. Ziniko, good morning to you. Looking back at some of what was said yesterday on day one of this conference, it's quite clear that we in the country are in dire need of these expertise owing to our energy insufficiency.
That was very clear, Xoli, and of course, if we remember some of the key issues that the Deputy President of the country, Mr. Paul Mashatile, making those emphases that South Africa needs to collaborate. All South Africans must collaborate between the professionals themselves, which in this case are the engineering experts, together with government, in terms of ensuring that all those heads are put together so that we find solutions to some of the problems that we're having in this particular country, specifically when it comes to energy crisis. So that's a very, very key, important relations which Mr. Paul Mashatile alluded to yesterday, but also the Minister of Public Works himself, Mr. Sihle Zikalala, spoke about the importance of making sure that there's enough and sufficient investment when it comes to infrastructure programs here in South Africa. So, as we said, it's day 2 of the UNESCO Engineering Conference, Africa Conference here in Pretoria. We were expecting the Electricity Minister himself to come in and address this particular gathering at about a few minutes from, actually any time from now on. He was expected to address at 9 a.m., but we understand that he's still making his way here. But let's get a sense of how important is that collaboration between the professional sectors themselves, which in this case is the engineering space, together with government in terms of coming up with solutions that are meant to help us maneuver through these energy crises. I'm joined now by Mr. Jones Moloisane, who's a member of the local organizing committee of this conference. Thank you very much for your time. Important issue. We are faced with the problem of electricity here in South Africa. Government is working hard in terms of trying to find solutions. But from your perspective, how do you come in? How can you come in? And to what capacity? How is the collaboration going so far?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks so much to Newzroom Afrika for having me on this platform to talk to the nation. As you can see, we started yesterday with the 9th Africa Engineering Week and also including the 7th Africa Engineering Conference under the theme of UNESCO and Federation of Africa Engineering Organizations. It is very important what you said, adding to what the Deputy President of the country said, Mr. Paul Mashatile, and adding to the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, Mr. Sihle Zikalala, said. In terms of the investment, and that us as the engineering practitioners, we need to come together. The theme of the conference is that we are celebrating the growth of the engineering profession in the Africa region. The whole idea behind the conference is to have the brains of the Africa engineering practitioners under one roof, although we've got the international members as well. The key part in this is the mobility of the engineering practitioners in the continent so that we can move from one country to the other in terms of making sure that we share the skills and knowledge. As Africa, we've got the solutions. There's a proverb that has been coined in Africa to say, the African problems can only be solved by Africans, but by that only does not exclude the international partners. So where we are in terms of the energy crisis, the solutions will be found as time goes by. Hence we are here at this conference. We are sharing knowledge and we are exchanging ideas under the theme of the conference that we are having and the engineering week that we are having here in South Africa. It is something that is very important to look into, say, as engineering practitioners, when we meet together, when we go further, the ideas that we have in South Africa, when we share them with our counterparts from the continent, we can come to a point whereby we say we are maybe not missing something or we are adding something to what we are doing in terms of that. And that's the whole idea that we are meeting here. So today at 9 o'clock, we have been expecting the minister from the office of the presidency, who is Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, to come and talk also and give the keynote address on this issue of the energy crisis. So by virtue of yesterday, what was discussed and the presentations that were done, also looking at the president-elect of the World Federation Federation of Engineering Organizations, Mr. Mustafa Shehu, who's going to be taking over the reins in October in Prague, in the Czech Republic. He also mentioned the same in terms of that as an African who will be for the first time leading the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, and in this tenure we don't turn things around, and we've got these brains of the engineering capacity from the engineering practitioners in the country, we are not doing anything, then he will be a failure. So we need to support him from the grassroots, and hence we are meeting here today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Molisane.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much, sir. That's Mr. Jones Molisane, a member of the local organizing committee of this particular conference we're attending. But also remember, it's the engineering week, so all things engineering and how that sector can help us solve some of the biggest problems we're facing as a continent. That's it only for now from us here in Pretoria. We'll catch up with you a bit later on.
Ziniko Mhlaba, thank you very much for that update.